say Allianz, but I mean, is this coming from Minnesota United?
I would assume so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just that it's no longer NASL.
Yeah.
And they have to. Well, they don't have to, but they feel the need to be what all other MLS teams or professional sports teams are.
Yeah. And on the flip side of this whole conversation is what a boom for people like Dual Citizen, like any breweries along the right rail or close to Allianz Field, and also the new bar, Blackheart. What a boom for them to see. We don't have as many craft beers as people thought we were going to have, and the prices are high.
I mean, if you want to look at it from the perspective of Blackheart, them being a bar, cocktails at Allianz are like $11, $12.
Yeah.
For like a Jack and Coke.
And what's funny is I remember, I think we said on this podcast, why would that guy build that bar right there? Why would he put it in there with Allianz and their brew hall opening up?
Well,
and now we know why.
Right. And I don't think Wes knew that.
Oh, I'm sure he probably didn't.
I think he's very happy.
But I'm sure he was jumping for joy when he saw those prices and what they had.
Yeah, I mean, I don't personally, I mean, the selection might be one thing, but I mean, the prices I don't think are a shock. I don't think it's outrageous. They're a little more expensive, and I think they get those premium prices, you could call it, just because we're not talking about Bud Light, Michelob's Golden Draft. No. I mean, they'll have a couple light beers on in the can at least, but they're not outrageous when you talk about professional sports.
And to be fair, per ounce, it's actually cheaper than last year.
Yeah, it is. But what I'm saying is, you promoted this brew pub, right? This big meeting place.
Yeah.
Huge opportunity before games when the gates open for people to go to this brew pub and hang out, have a couple beers before the game happens.
Hours before.
Yeah. And you've now ruined it. I mean, you have taken you deflated that balloon. I mean, it's gone now.
Yep.
I mean, you're done. That's not going to happen. And people are going to Blackheart, people go to Dual Citizen, any breweries around here, any bars around here, they're going to go there first.
And I haven't heard it from the team, but I think it was Jeff Reuter that he announced something that I was hoping they'd have the case. Like, if you wanted to go there on a Thursday night, the beer price list that I'm looking at now, the one that you'd see on game days, he mentioned that they will have a cheaper, reduced price menu on non-game days, non-function days. So,
but not game day.
No.
I mean, you had a place for people to hang out before the game in your stadium, a brew hall in your stadium.
Yep.
And I don't know. Of course, they did it on purpose. They knew what they were doing. It's a business thing.
Right.
But if you looked at the marketing and said, "Hey, we should have more craft beers, a little bit cheaper," they do have food. Which is
good
nice.
food.
And of course, right next to their team store.
Right.
So they want you to get.
Which, having been in it, excellent.
Yeah. Exactly right. Okay. They did something good there.
Yeah, my kids have benefited from it.
Yeah. There you go. So, but again, I'm just a little disappointed at what they kind of talked about it.
Yeah.
And then it came to be, and you feel like, I was excited for it. But
I look at it as they probably had this grandiose idea, and after they priced everyone out, it trickled down to what it is now.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go out on a limb and predict that 2020, it's going to be more like what we want.
Okay. All right.
I think they're going to realize their folly.
Yes.
And fix it.
I hope so. I hope so. Because I was deflated. Before we get out of the subject and move on to another subject, I wanted to say now, we've talked about Atlanta, their stadium a lot, and how the prices are super low. So the Minnesota Twins have decided to try that same thing.
Right.
2 stands at the Twins, the fanfare stands, just only 2 of them at Target Field, will have lower prices. But then people started looking into it and saying, A, there's only 2 stands, the lines are super long.
That would be my problem.
And B, if you look at the prices, they're $1 or $2 off of regular prices. You're not getting the same products, of course. But then they're like, we're selling a 5-ounce beer a Miller Lite or whatever it is.
12 ounce.
Or 12 ounce for $5. I'm sorry. 12 ounce for $5. And somebody did the math and said, but per ounce, it's only like 2 cents less than you get a regular Miller Lite. So what's the point?
It's no shock that they're connected to Minnesota United.
Yeah.
Well, I think, I mean, there is something to it. I mean, I think it's smart of the Twins to do that. It doesn't excite me at all on any level. However, there is something to be said about that. When, there's anybody who goes to the ballpark and would obviously think twice about buying a $12 beer.
Right.
At least now you have the option of having a beer for $5.
But again, if you're going to do it, don't make it 2 stands. Make it every Field Fair stand in the stadium.
Agreed.
Right.
Don't make it like you have to walk around and find the place and wait in line.
I mean, personally, I wouldn't bother looking.
I'm
for
not
that.
going to either.
But that's just me. But hey, at least it opens that door for people who don't want to spend $12 on a beer, whether it's a 20-ounce beer or not.
They're trying.
At least you can go somewhere and get a beer for $5.
Yeah.
But again, we talk about, you're trying to do something, but you're not fully committed to it yet, and that's what they're doing here.
Right.
So,
yeah. So I'd like to point out, attached to Allianz Field, I'm a little annoyed as a season ticket holder.
Oh yes,
with our gifts.
Yes.
Now, I can find other better things to complain about, but to me, this is another area where the organization is just kind of, they didn't miss the boat, but they kind of shortchanged everyone.
But you're a season ticket holder.
Yeah.
You made a commitment,
right,
to watch this team this season, to be at every home game. A commitment for yourself, also a monetary commitment.
Right.
You spent money, so you think they give you something?
Yeah, and so the gift this year was a case. It's a magnetic case that holds the ticket, a commemorative first game of the season ticket. I get it; it's cool.
Yeah.
In that sense, I think they were spot on with the direction they went. But the ticket itself is just lacking.
Sure.
It's very plain. It's very just kind of thrown together. And I mentioned to you guys before the podcast that the inaugural game against Atlanta United, that ticket was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I've joked, not necessarily joked, but kind of joked, that I'm going to replace the home opener of Allianz with that ticket.
Yeah.
Like I said, spot on with what I would have hoped, being that we went to all digital ticketing. But it was just kind of like, let's just pay as cheap as possible for this commemorative ticket. And I don't know. And then to top it off, they give everyone a pin that, those enamel pins that say that they're part of the Itasca Society. And I'm like, bullshit. We're not all Itasca Society members. The people that signed up, the first 11,820, I think it was.
Something like that.
Were Itasca Society.
Number of lakes in Minnesota.
It's not the 14,000 that have signed up.
Exactly.
So it's just weird that they did that. I don't know.
See, I would have done instead of a ticket, now everybody's digital, right?
Right.
So what do tickets mean anyways? I would have done a commemorative coin or something. Like a nice coin.
Well, they already did that for first season.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But it was nice.
A commemorative loon? Commemorative loon?
That would be interesting.
They could have given you a live loon.
Well, so you're saying, and actually this is kind of surprising. The fact that they give you a gift and they do this every year.
Right.
That's something. I mean, I'm
fairly
sure that
every team gives their season ticket holders a gift.
Yeah, well, not all sports does.
Thankfully, they stopped the scarves thing.
Yeah.
Because, my God, I've got 10 scarves.
10 scarves, yeah.
2016, they gave 3. because I have 3 tickets.
Yeah.
2017, they gave 3.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, good God, what am I supposed to do with these things?
They could have given you a signed picture of PK.
I'd take that.
I'd take that.
I would.
I'd frame it.
I would like a signed picture of me punching people.
Oh,
Not that I have anything against PK.
Come on, PK's
I
nice.
just find it interesting to commit violence against.
PK's pay. There's a person in there.
There is.
You know, I used to do that myself. I used to be a Tires Plus tire. Dave was too.
Yep.
We know how it is to be a mascot. People abuse you.
But that's the fun in it.
It's not nice.
It's fun.
We're people too.
It's fun to abuse mascots.
So let's get into one final thing before we take off here, guys.
Oh, wait, you have Madison.
Oh, that's right. We got to talk about Madison.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about Madison because, A, they have their new podcast, which just came out.
Yep. We talked about it.
We talked about it. They did the first episode. I listened to it. It was great. They had their last exhibition game.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Against Marquette
Marquette.
University.
Okay.
They won 4-1. Paolo Jr. had a hat trick. But our toy, Mason Toy,
Mason Toy.
had himself a goal. They traveled well. The podcast traveled with them.
Nice.
I believe they even got a coach bus and everything
Whoa.
from Madison to Milwaukee.
Hey now.
Yeah, they're doing things right.
Hint, hint, United.
Right.
This podcast.
All right. Screw the sound of the loon.
That's their
Sorry,
own.
Callum.
That's their own corporate podcast.
Callum's a cool guy.
Callum's fine.
Yeah, I think Dave brought up the starting lineup. I believe Manley was in it.
Manley and Wyatt Omsberg started on the back.
And
Holmesburg was in there?
So very
Yes,
good.
as well as Mason Toy, of course, like David mentioned, scored. So
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
they had good representation. They got a strong club, obviously.
They do,
So
yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how they do in the USL League One, which their first game would be soon.
Yeah, they had tweeted a picture of the trophy for USL 1, and it said something like, it'll be coming to Madison. I mean, honestly, I think they have a pretty good squad.
Yeah, I looked at their squad. It looks pretty decent.
It'll be cool to see. I know I had tweeted out a correction from last episode. I said that they were playing Cincinnati something. It was actually Chattanooga. So April 6th is their first game of the season against Chattanooga, the Red Wolves. So excited for that season to start. And
Of course, we'll see them in 2.5 months.
2.5
and
months.
We're out there in June.
Just talking about the schedule, they have a friendly at Breeze Stevens Field on April 16th against Madison, actually UW Madison. But they're so I guess technically their USL League One opener is not till at Breeze Stevens Field. It's not till April 17th or April 27th.
Yes.
Against Greenville.
And I like how their schedule's set up. They have an airplane for away games, and then they have a house for home games.
Nice.
No confusing.
No confusing you there.
Yeah, and so actually April 13th, they'll play North Texas same day as our home opener.
Sure.
So let's see, that's a
Not till 9:20 in the
yeah.
evening. So
We won't be talking about that on the podcast, so they'll have to wait.
But we'll be talking about the game no, we won't be because we'll be at that game in June.
Right.
We'll probably do the podcast before that game.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And so, but we'll be out there having a chat with you. And like I said, True North Elite guys will probably be on our podcast. We might have some guests from the flock.
Yep.
We might have some guests from the team. We don't know.
Right. It might be an assistant.
Might be we don't know.
It might be like the person that gets water.
Yeah, it might be. And we still haven't figured out where we're going to actually do the podcast. I know the flock has said they have some
Yeah, they said they were
ideas.
going to work on it.
They're going to work on it.
Yeah.
But
So, this is cool. I think excited for the fact that we can talk about more than just the loons.
yeah. And again, their podcast is what is it called? Sound of the...
Let me be forward.
Let me be forward. Their podcast will go, of course, more in depth than that.
Oh, yeah.
We're just kind of mentioning it because we have some players going back and forth, and we're affiliated. Let me be forward. I listened to their first podcast. It was good. I really enjoyed it. They're gonna have a lot of guests this year. They're gonna have guys from the team. They've already had guys from the team
they
on
have,
there,
yeah.
so they're gonna have a lot of guests. It should be a good time.
I highly recommend it. It's good.
Yeah, good time.
And single game tickets are on sale now, so people should plan